right, my people. We here at. Why is this one sideways? Oh, my fault. Camera ain't acting right. Hold up, that's supposed to be down. What's this? One second, y'all. 1 second. Let me get this tight. All right, my people. Here at. Why is not recording the right way? So. It's supposed to be rotating. There we go. I think we got it this time. Let's try it again. I've been having problems with Facebook blocking my videos, so to bypass the censorship, I'm recording it and then just uploading it to wherever. So I'm streaming live on one device, and I'm gonna record on the other. So y'all bear with me real quick as I get my stuff back together. All right, I think we ready. All right, here we go. Let's try it again. So it's your main man, Dr. Life, in the business of saving life. Today is February 1st. Here in Hollywood Studios. It's the last studio standing. Here in Hollywood Studios, and what you're gonna find out with me here, Dr. Life, you supposed to be paying attention. Take that out your ear. No, that's not what you're about to do. You're about to engage in this. That ain't what I called you over here for. So I'm here in the studio with my young one, because we're at a pivotal point of family history. We're at a pivotal point of Earth's history, but in a realistic way. I volunteered to use myself and my family as models, as the clay in the master's hands to be molded and shaped into whatever utensil, whatever vessel, whatever divine weapon, whatever sword, whatever instrument he chooses to mold each and every one of us into for the ultimate plan and will or the Father's wish in this last generation. That's what Hollywood Studios is about. Hollywood Studios is about documenting the journey that we have been on. My young one that's with me here, each and every one of us, we get a new name. We received a name. Each one of them received a name at birth that was revealed to myself and my bride. But then as they complete their training, train up a child in the way he should go, that when he is old, he will not depart from the way. Train up a child in the way he should go, that when he is old, he or she will not depart from the way. So in keeping with the heritage of our ancestors, once again, it's February 1st, 2019, February 1st. And the reason I'm doing this here with my young one, her alienation name is Predestiny's Beauty. Predestiny's Beauty. Our family's seal and shield is Layish Beauty. So her name is Predestiny's Beauty. And once again, we're just following the heritage of our ancestors. And forever the world has tried to, what I want you guys to know and what I want Predestiny to know is forever human beings have tried to erase the legacy and heritage left by our ancestors and then rebrand us and relabel us as some other type of global citizens, a part of some other type of group, which has no connection to the original root family group that we belong to. And the reason people suffer through oppression, the reason that people suffer through slavery, hatred, racism is simply because of something that I call revelation envy. Revelation envy. When God reveals his will to his children, those who have chosen not to be his children are envious of the blessings that the children that are connected to the everlasting covenant with the Creator receive. And only when those children are separated from the knowledge of who they are, what their covenant is, what their work that they are supposed to do is, as long as they stay busy and active doing the work that they was predestined and called and chosen to do, untouchable. All right. So on what the world calls Black History Month, I'm taking the time. There's a stack of papers on the table in front of Predestiny. And those stack of papers represent freedom, represent the foundation that we built, that our family has built, an ascension program. This says launch. We're introducing an age-old ascension program of health, wealth, wellness, and fruitfulness, which means prosperity. Health, wealth, wellness, fruitfulness, or prosperity. Launch. Predestiny represents the future, where we headed. The stack of the papers on the desk represents the past and what we've done, the foundation. And so everything that I share here is going to be tying in how we take that foundation that has already been laid to have health, wealth, wellness, and prosperity for anybody who wants to have access to this inspiration and power. This is what we offer. You see, there's two lions. You have to have two witnesses, Alpha and Omega, inspiration and power, the beginning and the ending. I am the first and the last. He said the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Trading places. Understand? The first shall be last and the last shall be first. The first fruits that we produce, that I produced and I created and I gave to my children, that dominion, that same lifestyle that I gave in the beginning, the first shall be the last. That should be the last lifestyle that will leave this same earth. You heard me? That's something you can bet on, you can count on. Don't matter what it looks like. It looks like evil people prevail. It looks like wicked people always prosper. It looks like, no. He said the first shall be last. I told you, Hollywood Studios is the last studio standing. The songs that was sung in the beginning will be the last songs that will be sung. And because we are that same, those are our ancestors. We don't look back to the Egyptians. We don't look back to the Babylonians. We don't look back to the Greeks or the Romans. We don't look back to civil rights movement and we don't look back to African Americans. We don't look back to Negroes. We don't look back to blacks. We don't look to none of that. Because it says there's nothing new under the sun. You have to understand the reason they want you to buy into. You're an African American, or you're a Negro, or you're a black. Every 10, 15 years, they change the name. You're a nigger. You're a slave. First, you're a slave. Then you're a nigger. Then you're a Negro. Then you're colored. Then you're black. Then you're African American. What? That's because these are people who your ancestors have been dominating all throughout world history. And they simply want to make sure that you never, ever, ever, ever figure out your root identity of who you are. Exactly. Exactly. So, what this is about is all natural reality and then fake, made up, artificial science fiction. You know, this world is built on virtual reality. Everything in your generation is built on virtual reality. You know, this everything, they want everybody going in that direction. Because if it's artificial, then they can tell the story. Then they can create the narrative. If it's a myth, they win it. Anytime we dealing with science fiction and myth and made up and fantasy, anytime we dealing in any of that, they win it. But whenever we deal in reality, truth, we have dominion. All right. So This is just the intro. This is just the intro. But at Hollywood Studios, it's about image. Image is everything. All right? Image is everything. So on this image, you have what we call the original man. All right? The word calls the last Adam, right? So when he was on the cross, he didn't look like this. When he was on the cross, he didn't look like this. Isaiah describes the one that the Bible calls Jesus as one who was not pleasant to look upon. Like, imagine the Hunchback of Notre Dame, disfigured. I think they call it disease elephantitis, where people, scoliosis is a form of that, where your back, your spine is curved. The Hunchback of Notre Dame is real though. It's that dude Quasimodo is real. It's real people who was born with that disfigured dismemberment, body, shoulder, all up. So, and it's a text in the word where it says that the creator thought it not robbery to take on the form of humanity and go through everything we went through yet without sinning. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't come down here as that. But after it was over, after it was all over, after he had finished everything, he had died, went into the grave, came out, told Mary not to touch him, told Mary to go tell the apostles, stay in the upper room, and he was going to come to him. He came to him. Day of Pentecost, the Holy Ghost descended on him. All of that. They went out and preached. Everybody heard in their own tongue. And then when he was about to leave and go back to the Father, it says he went to the Mount of Transfiguration. That's what the Greeks and Romans call it. We call it the Mount of Transformation. Transformed. Understand? The Mount of it is finished. On the cross, he said, it is finished. It's done. It's over. I've done everything I need. I came. I put on the form like you. I came and walked and I did everything. I done did everything. I done looked like y'all, all of that. Changed in the moment of a twinkling of an eye. It says he was transfigured before the apostles who was with him. Transformed. The word also says that he will always wear the scars though. So he still got the scars on his side and on his hands. But he transformed. And that picture is more accurate of what he originally created in the beginning, Adam. Perfectly sculpted, perfect body, 20 feet tall, giant. And so that's what he transformed to. But then it's another text in the word that says, behold, we are the sons of God, and we do not know what he is, but we know that when we see him, we shall be like him. Meaning, when he come again, second coming, when he come again, we'll be transformed just like he was transformed. So this is about transformation, y'all. All this is about transformation. The launch is about transformation. The challenge from the West. Rome has challenged us. Greece and Rome said they're going to erase the history, and they've challenged us to find our root. Not roots, not plural, not roots. It's not many paths. This is about one love. And what I want to say to you in ending, and then the next thing I'm going to go into, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that stack of papers was created just in the 23 years that your mom and I have been married. 23 years. The foundation of all of that we about to launch here has been built in 23 years, right? Because before me, my father and my mother, your grandparents, laid the foundation. And they started building this pipeline, this ascension program. So this is a generational thing. Understand? That's why it's important to identify your ancestors. Because Abraham handed an ascension program or pipeline down to Isaac. Isaac handed it down to Jacob. Jacob handed it down to Joseph. Understand? Generation, right? So every generation is supposed to build on the foundation, and the children build the framework, right? The father lays the foundation, the children build the sanctuaries. All right. So this one, when he came to the earth, he said, I must be about my father's business. Right? And he also said, in my father's house, there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. Then he says, I go to prepare a mansion for you. So once again, the father and the mother lay the foundation, and the son and the children build on the foundation that's laid. You got it? So every generation, then when you complete the structure, when you complete the sanctuary, it's like David was given instructions on how to build the sanctuary that the children of Israel worshiped in. But David didn't build the sanctuary. Who built the sanctuary? His son Solomon. So the instructions and the commands from God and the resources took resources to lay those foundations. The resources, the finances, the doors opening, the blessings is one witness. And then when the children come and they build on it and it's successful, it's another witness. You know what I'm saying? So the foundation and the building has to match. If the children go off and start worshiping other gods and start living alternative lifestyles other than the lifestyle that the parents lived when they were laying the foundation, and when God opened the doors and blessed the foundation being laid, then when the children go to build the structure, it'll never be successful, and God will never bless it. Understand? So the only way for success, generation after generation after generation after generation, is for the parents to be connected, to lay a foundation for their generation, right? And then for the children to be connected with the same spirit that the parents had, right? And then they follow the instructions handed to them from the parent. Solomon didn't go out and just build any old thing. No, his daddy was like, yo, I received this from the master. And so we doing the same thing. We hand it on. We're like, listen, this is what he told us to build. This is what he told us to give the people access to. These are our 8 streams. These are our 8 streams. All right. Everything is 4 dimensions. There's 4 rivers surrounding the original home of dominion, the Garden of Eden. 4 rivers. The Gihon, the Pison, the Euphrates, and the Tigris. 4 rivers. But you have male and female. You have a firstborn blessing and you have a birthright blessing. So that's 8. 8 streams. The male blessing is the first fruits blessing. The female blessing is the birthright blessing. And so what we're about to hand is a foundation. We passing a baton. This is a relay race. We're in a relay race, my child. So we've run our race. We've completed our leg of it. Now it's your turn. All right. And then once in this generation we complete, then we're going to step into the role of elders. And then y'all going to step into the role of parents. And then y'all going to lay a foundation for your generation. And when y'all lay the foundation, then y'all going to hand a baton to y'all children. And we're going to be the elders. And we're going to sit back. And when the children from who y'all handing the baton to, I'm like, yeah, your mom, your uncle, your aunties, your uncles, yeah, when they were handed the baton, they did this, they did that. So you should learn from da-da-da-da-da. The beautiful thing is we're documenting it for the first time. When we laid the foundation, we wasn't documenting nothing. That's why we got those papers. Now we're trying to make those papers come alive. Not just video recording and documenting, but make it come alive through giving people access to the inspiration and power that created all of those things. All right. Everything on that table is a business plan. Every single sheet you see right there is a business plan and venture. All right. So when we come back, we're going to get into the business plan that God has, that he handed down, a 4-dimensional, guaranteed to work. The only reason that people don't have health, wellness, wealth, health, wealth, wellness, and prosperity, or fruitfulness, is because they've separated the people from the business cycle, the creation currency business cycle given to our ancestors. Because the King of Kings promised, he said, I will feed you with the heritage of Jacob. I will feed you how I fed Jacob. So the reason she has a alienation name, an alienation name is when you pass through this ascension program. This is not rituals. This is a customs. I will feed you with the heritage of Jacob, thy father. Those are customs. To pass through customs, you got to pay the price, right? If you're entering into a country, you have to go through customs first. And there are duties. They call it duty. The price you got to pay to pass through customs is called the duty. You got to pay your duty. But the King of Kings says, come purchase from me gold tried in the fire. He said, my customs price is you got to purchase gold. You got to go through a fiery furnace experience. You got to go through the Hollywood trials to prove that you are that faithful servant, pure gold that I created. All right. So when we come back, and I'm going to show you that we've been taking our young people through the same heritage that he took Jacob through, that he took Job through. We're not making the mistake that the Christians make of focusing on Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No. This ascension program, this system has been in place since Adam. Adam kept it faithfully. Enoch, faithfully. Enoch's 3 sons, faithfully. Then Job, faithfully. This same ascension program, this same business model and business cycle. And we're going to pass the baton and let her launch it. And let them launch it. And let you guys tap into it. And reintroduce it to our people. Reintroduce our heritage. Our heritage is not Black history. That's a slave brand. If you identify with being Black, you are saying to the Western European world, yes, I give you permission to continue to enslave myself and my children. If you identify with African American, that is just a brand that they put on their cattle. Well, I'll get into the fake sovereignty and the real all natural sovereignty. All right, come back and check us out.